in a show of stability among Russian defense forces in Ukraine after a failed mutiny by Wagner Group fighters, as the West assesses the Russian president's grip on power. And for more on that top story, Dasha Chernyshova, she joins us live now from Moscow. Dasha, President Putin, he issued his first statement since the Wagner uprising, and how exactly did he frame the situation?
Well, indeed, we have seen the first video released by the Kremlin on from the Russian president, Vladimir Putin. But in this video, the Russian president was addressing the engineers. He was not talking about the situation in the country. It's not immediately clear when this video has been recorded. But what the Russian president was saying in this video is that the modernization of the Russian industry is one of the top priorities for the country, and that it is the quality of the personnel, of the staff, that is paramountly important to the country in these difficult conditions that the country is finding itself in. But also we have heard from the Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin today speaking about the ongoing situation. He said the cabinet ministers have all been working properly during this weekend. They have all been in their working offices. And he said what was important at this very moment was for the Russian people to stay united, to make sure that the sovereignty and independence of the people is preserved. He also has been talking a lot about the importance of the Russian government's efforts to have the security of the Russians. So certainly not much has been said by the Russian president with regard to this situation, but the Prime Minister has been talking about it.
And also we've been talking a lot about the Russian Defense Minister, Sergei Shoigu, where he was seen at this military command post in Ukraine. And of course, he was one of the primary targets of the Wagner chief, Yevgeny Prigozhin's criticism. Now, this meeting with the troops, what exactly do you think is the significance of it?
Well, that's right. The video footage that has been released by the MOD this morning shows Sergei Shoigu, Russian Minister of Defense, visiting the advanced command posts of the Western grouping of forces in the area of the so-called special military operation. He was there. He was briefed about the ongoing course of the operation. He was given instructions. So that's according to the statement released by MOD. Now, many experts suggest that this might be a hint that no staffing changes would be made at the Russian Ministry of Defense, because one of the demands of Yevgeny Prigozhin, the head of the Wagner mercenary group, was to change those who are working inefficiently at the Russian Ministry of Defense. He has been criticizing several personalities. He has been criticizing decision making, and that's why he initiated what he called the march of justice towards the Russian capital. So that's indicative of what the Russian authorities are going to do. But of course, what matters for the Russians who have seen this turmoil over the weekend is the address of the Russian president. There's been nothing on the situation since Saturday morning, when the Russian president called Wagner's mutiny as a stab in the back and as treason.
Well, many thanks for that report, Dasha Chernyshova, live from Moscow.